There are several types of surcingles available to you, and these are Wolbus products from Sweden. And this one has a partially stiffened gullet, in that this is a traditional surcingle, which you can see with a pad on it. So it's shaped a little bit like the saddle, and we put a feather pad on it, and that means that you can put this right up on the horse like a saddle and use it like that. And the gullet is shaped and slightly stiffened to fit the horse like a saddle. So it's going to sit right on like this. Now here are the reinforced square buckles, which are sewn and riveted so that this you can put side reins to. The lines go through the round rings and can go to the bridle and hook back to these, or side reins can hook to these, or other pieces of equipment can hook to these. So this is the one that has a stiffened gullet. And you can put this on her like this. She can have a saddle pad on under it, but you can also put this on top of your saddle so that you can be all saddled, have your surcingle over on top of your saddle, warm her up long lining your horse, and then take the surcingle off and ride. And a lot of people do this, especially for FEI horses that need a long, slow warm up, and possibly without so much weight and just like really loose. It's sort of like lunging them, but they have their tackle on and it's easy on them. It can be a real advantage. Or if you're working some piaffe work and you need to do that in hand, you can take your surcingle to the ring and maybe you ride your horse, do your changes, do your half passes, and put your surcingle on. So there is also one that is a hinged gullet, which is a different, it's the same company. This one also has a crupper attached, which most of them do come with a crupper. And this is how it works. Here's the hinge. So this is very popular, and this is the one that Booyana recommends as a Swedish Olympic coach. He's very big on longlining. He's probably the foremost authority in the world on longlining, and he recommends these. And this also can go over your saddle. I didn't put the wither pad on this one yet because it just came out of the box, but it does open up, and so people are it's really great for, it'll fit any type of horse because this is hinging, and it has the ring at the top, which is recommended by FEI trainers. There are occasionally horses that they're working very high collection that they need this ring up here. So it has several important properties which are different. Almost the same materials, and the only thing is really different, the hinge. And because of the hinging system, it is just a little tiny bit heavier, but not super heavy. I have saddled Lilith up here so you can see how this works, but when you saddle your horse up with your saddle, be sure that your girth is super tight. If you're going to put a surcingle over it, your saddle has to be riding tight for sure, super tight. And then run your stirrups up and place it right over the center with the little square rings going to the front. I'm going to just check that it's all straight on the other side. One thing about your stirrups is you can remove them. Mine don't tend to come down, but some people tie them up because they will sometimes flop down. Mine are really good at staying up because I've done this a lot, but you can remove your stirrups or you can tie them up, one or the other. And sometimes you have to punch holes way to the end of the girth, but you want to girth her up. And this has to be tight, so tighten it slowly. But be sure to get it tight, it has to be saddle tight before you can go. And then you put your lines through and you can long line them like that. And the only thing that people have to get used to is the outside line I usually keep up over the saddle, because if it gets under here, that gets to be a problem. It's kind of complicated, but it does work really well. And a lot of people like to warm up with a surcingle over the saddle. So this is what it looks like, and this is how you get it done. And you can use either type of surcingle, the stiffened gullet or the hinged gullet. And I must say the hinged gullet is the in thing right now. Everybody wants those. They like them a lot. Hi, I just got done long lining, and I wanted to show you a couple things about the lines. It's really important not to remove the wax of the lines, because if you oil the lines and you clean the lines so much that they lose the wax, then the lines are no longer stiff, and you don't want them to twist and bind while you store them either, because eventually what happens is those lines kink up through the rings, which becomes really dangerous. You want to maintain the wax on the lines, and in order to clean them, the best thing to do is just a very damp, washcloth. And up here you may need the tiniest little bit of oil to keep this from cracking. Use a separate cloth. If you absolutely have to clean them, then use a little tiny bit of glycerin soap, not much. Wipe it off. Don't put on a lot. You don't want to do a bunch of conditioning to your lines. Although you think they're stiff and you'd like them to be softer, the softer they are, the more they kink, the more unsafe they are. So what we want to do next is learn how to roll up your lines for storage. So you start with the end that does not have the buckle. And I actually put mine on the floor. The aisle floor is nice and clean, so I'm going to do that. You want to have about, a little more than a yard, 3 feet down. And you're going to use your right hand to keep it from kinking. Keep the wax side to the top. Put it into your left hand. And make the loops approximately about the same size. Some people like to have them smaller and a little bigger and smaller and a little bigger. I'm not real fussy about that personally, but really important that they don't kink. And the last one, make the loop a little smaller. When you get to the top, now you're going to roll them around. You're at the top now. You're going to roll it around a couple of times. Now you're making a loop. You see how that made a loop through here? A couple of loops around, so now it looks pretty nice and straight. Take a loop and put it through the 2 top loops, and then your last part goes right through here. Okay, now this is also how power company linemen used to do ropes. A lot of people do ropes like that. Now here's the next part. Some people loop this together and hang it up like this, but that wears this out. Almost nobody that's a real horseman does that. They have to keep these a long time, because if you hang it by that at the top loop there, you're going to strain it. So you want to hang it by here on a hook, and it's going to hang it just like that. I'm going to do one more for you so you can see it. So you start with the end that does not have the buckles, the part that is towards you as the handler, so about 3 feet, and keep the wax side to the top, the finished side. Use your right hand to keep it all straight. Make the loops sort of approximately the same. They can vary some big, some small. Some people really are fussy about to make the first one small, the 2 middle ones bigger, and the last one small. I can't be bothered to do that, but I've seen people that were really, really fussy. If they had 20 of these in the tack room, they wanted them all exactly the same. So just trying to keep this one straight. Got to keep it straight. Okay, here we are at the top. Okay, now I'm going to wrap this around. So look how we did. I went around my hand and around this. It pulls it all together. Make some loops around. Nice and even and neat. And then through here. And put the end through here. There we go. That's going to hang out just like that. And the two of them hang right up together. Take care and hug your horses for me. This is the deluxe single recommended by Bo Jano, the Swedish Olympic coach. It has a hingeable gullet and is popular. The second one is the standard. It has a slightly stiffened gullet and is otherwise extremely similar. Also, same quality, but actually a little bit lighter because no hinge. So these are on idanorrisdressage.com.
Thanks for watching. If you like the information we provided today, don't forget, subscribe, like, and share. Also check out idanorrisdressage.com and Ida Norris Western Dressage on Facebook.